We have been discussing binary relations and the associated graph models at length. Let's explore further. If you look at the set A, say 1, 2, 3, and say R defined on A, say 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, and the associated directed graph has three vertices 1, 2, 3, and there is an arc from 1 to 1, there is an arc from 2 to 1, there is an arc from 3 to 3, there is an arc from 1 to 3, there is an arc from 2 to 3. So what we are going to do is we are going to redraw this and satisfying some properties. Okay, but we are not going to do that for an arbitrary relation, because if it is going to satisfy some property, naturally the underlying relation should have some property, correct? Otherwise R is arbitrary, the graph is also arbitrary. So we are not going to work with an arbitrary relation. Instead, we are going to work with partial orders. So let's revisit partial orders. So we say R is a partial order if R satisfies reflexivity, antisymmetric, and transitive. So if it satisfies RAT properties, then R is a partial order. So we are going to take partial orders and then look at the underlying directed graph or the underlying graph more closely. Okay, so focus on the directed graph corresponding to partial orders. Okay, so let's fix this set and take R to be 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and it should be antisymmetric, so 1, 2, and it should be transitive as well. Say let me take say 2, 3 and say 1, 3. So this relation is reflexive and antisymmetric because you find AB alone. If you find AB and BA, then A equals B. That's what antisymmetric says. And transitive says AB, BC and AC. Let's look at the underlying directed graph corresponding to this. So you will have 1, 2, 3. So I am drawing it in a peculiar style. You will understand why such a drawing is required in a slight moment. So 1, 1 there is an arc, 2, 2 there is an arc, 3, 3 there is an arc, 1 to 2 there is an arc, 2 to 3 there is an arc, and 1 to 3 there is an arc. So in some sense, what I have done is I have arranged the vertices like a linear chain. Vertices at level 0, vertices at level 1, vertices at level 2. So arranged the vertices in a chain-like fashion, and there are arcs 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3 and 1, 3. Now I am going to simplify this directed graph. What I am going to do is remove reflexive arcs. Because we are going to work with partial orders, it is understood that these graphs are reflexive, meaning these relations are reflexive relations. So I am dropping the underlying reflexive arcs. So what we get is 1, 2, 3 and this. Since the vertices are arranged in linear chain, which means you have vertices at level 0, level 1, level 2, so you always follow this style. You arrange them in a chain-like fashion, and this corresponds to partial orders, which means it has to be transitive. I am also dropping transitive arcs. Remove transitive arcs. So what we get is this. 1, 3 I am not drawing, it's understood, because 1, 2, 2, 2 to 3, then because it's a partial order, it has to be transitive. There will be an arc from 1 to 3 which is implicit, it is not drawn explicitly. Okay. Now I have arranged the vertices in linear chain. I am also dropping the arcs, so make it undirected. So this becomes 3, this becomes 2, this becomes 1. So this was discovered by a scientist by name Assay. So this diagram is known as Assay diagram of a partial order. It is also known as poset. So this is popularly known as Assay diagram in the literature. Assay diagrams are applicable, or it is meant for partial orders, and it's a directed graph, and in which you find reflexive arcs and transitive arcs, and subsequently it goes through transformation. The final diagram, if you see, it's an undirected graph where only antisymmetric arcs are mentioned, or antisymmetric edges are mentioned. In that, we drop reflexive arcs and transitive arcs. Consider this set A equals 1, 2, 3, 4, and R is a poset, so R must be 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and if you look at the Assay diagram corresponding to this, then it will have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Since we are dropping reflexive arcs and transitive arcs, this is precisely my Assay diagram. You see that it gives you an arrangement, or rather you can arrange the vertices of A in a linear fashion if the underlying R is a poset or a partial order relation. So let's look at R to be 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and say 1, 2, 2, 3, and followed by 1, 3. Now the corresponding Assay diagram will look like this: 1, 2, 3 and 4, and there is an antisymmetric arc from 1 to 2, so you get this. There is an antisymmetric arc from 2 to 3, you get this. We are dropping the transitive arc 1 to 3, and so which means this is precisely our Assay diagram. Again, there is an arrangement of vertices like this: 1, and above that it is 2, above that it is 3, and so on. Because of this arrangement, it is understood that there is a transitive arc from 1 to 3. Since you find an antisymmetric arc from 1 to 2 and an antisymmetric arc from 2 to 3. Fine. Consider this diagram. So let me draw something like this. Something like this. So let me say this is 1 and say 2, 3, say 6 and say 5 and 7. So this is an assay diagram because we are able to arrange them in a chain, and over here it's not like a chain. Instead, the arrangement gives you that these vertices are at level 1, these vertices are at level 2 and so on. There is an arrangement. What I am trying to say is a simple relation will have a chain like this, but a non-trivial relation, the chain is like this. You have vertices in L0, vertices in L1 and vertices in L2 and so on. Now one can cook a relation out of this. The underlying set has got 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 and 6. Now implicitly you have the underlying relation as 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7. These are all reflexive arcs. Apart from that, we have 1, 7, 1, 5, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 6 and 3, 6. And there are implicit transitive arcs. 1, 2, 2, 6 is 1, 6 and 1, 3, 3, 6 is again 1, 6. That's all. So now you can see that 1, 2, 2, 6 is 1, 6, 1, 2, 3, 6 is 1, 6, 1, 3, 3, 6 is 1, 6, 1, 3, 3, 6, and so we are done. And here is a relation and the corresponding assay diagram. So given assay diagram, one can construct a relation which is a partial order. Given a partial order, one can generate the underlying assay diagram out of this. Okay, and in that sense, they are equivalent. Given an assay diagram, one can construct the underlying relation which is a partial order, and vice versa. Given a relation which is a partial order, one can generate the underlying assay diagram. It is not the case that it is always a chain. Instead, a linear arrangement of vertices is possible. You have set of vertices here, you have set of vertices here, set of vertices here, and so on. Let's look at some more non-trivial examples so that you have grip over this concept. Consider this assay diagram. So the underlying relation, if you look at it, the set has got 7 elements and R is, it has 1, 1, so on up to 7, 7. Apart from that, the antisymmetric arcs like 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 4 and 4, 5, 5, 7 and 5, 6. And there are transitive arcs. This is reflexive arcs. This is antisymmetric. Apart from that, there are transitive arcs. 1, 3, 3, 4. So 1, 4. 2, 3, 3, 4, 2, 4. We are dropping those arcs because the construction says there is an arrangement. In the arrangement, you get to see that these vertices are at L0 and L1 and L2, L3 and L4. Because of the arrangement, you get to see that these vertices they occupy L0 or the least level, and these vertices come after this, and there is an arrangement. There are specific applications which we shall see next. Now you find 1 4 2 4. Not just that, 1 3 3 4 gives you 1 4, 1 4 4 5 gives you 1 5, so which means you have 1 5 and you also have 2 5. Fine. Apart from that, you have 3 5 transitive arcs, then 4 7 and 4 6. Now this 1 4 is done, right? But 1 4 will have 1 4 4 5 1 5, and 1 5 5 7 will have 1 7, so you will also have 1 7. Similarly, 1 5 5 6 you will have 1 6. So in some sense you will have transitive arcs from here to all that can be reached from this. Similarly, 2 3 3 4 2 4 is done, 2 5 is done, then you also have 2 6 and 2 7. Why? You find 2 5 5 7, then transitive arc is 2 7. You find 2 5 5 6, transitive arc is 2 6. Fine. So we find 2 5 5 7, you get 2 7. 2 5 5 6, we get 2 6. So in the same line you find 1 7 as well as 1 6. So these arcs are transitive arcs. See, there is so nice about this diagram. Relation is so dense and so much of this is captured in this nice diagram where you maintain an hierarchy among vertices. You say these vertices occupy the least level, then the next level, and so on. Fine. Now where do we come across these diagrams? Look at this. Suppose these vertices represent courses. Say this is discrete mathematics, this is digital logic design. So discrete mathematics and digital logic design one has to do before they go for say a course on computer organization. Discrete mathematics is a prerequisite for say data structures. Data structure and discrete mathematics is a prerequisite for design and analysis of algorithms. Now you see that the transitive arc between DM and DAA tells you that design and analysis of algorithm, if you want to credit, you should have done discrete maths before. And this tells you that you should have done data structure and DM before you credit DAA. And you see that data structure and design and analysis of algorithm is a prerequisite for say database management system. And computer organization is a prerequisite for say computer architecture. Then you have a course on say communication, and this course is a prerequisite if you want to do say digital signal processing. And subsequently you are interested in doing a course on say image processing, and you see that data structure is a prerequisite and discrete maths is a prerequisite that comes via this. Digital signal processing is a prerequisite. So you can establish the prerequisite relation among courses using assay diagram. So the assay diagram represent the prerequisite relationship among courses. Which set of courses one should credit in semester 1? Because this occupies the least level in the sense that for almost all courses in computer science, discrete maths is a prerequisite.